Hello back, fellow traders. It's been a while that I was not publishing any video, some months. Uh, I do apologize for this, but in real also, I made many videos in the past where I was explaining my approach to Forex based on um, mathematical formulas and a mathematical approach. So I do apologize for the long time not being here on YouTube, but also for family reasons and also this lockdown situation. Um, I had very limited time and energies, and despite the fact that even without making new videos, I got a lot of feedbacks from you. So I start this video by thanking every one of you uh, which are still following me and writing me feedbacks, emails, or contacting me via Skype, um, because that's really something that drives my work anyway and pushes me anyway somehow to do some videos. Um, it's only a matter of having time for doing that, and what I will talk today, and I hope to be very brief, even because still I have not that much time, so I reserve some time for my trading and for my work, for making some studying new expert advisors or attempting to find new formulas. Um, Despite now my job in trading is pretty stable. Um, what I will do in this video session, I will just organize it in the sense of providing some answers uh, to the many questions that I daily received, hoping to save some extra time this way. So let's start by saying that my my time was pretty limited in this month. So I attempted myself, to focus on a specific session. So the London session, which of course is the more volatile, and as I got more than one mail saying that by watching the other videos that I produced in the past, majority of time I was providing, just one session of trading, so one day, uh, that I could have been like faking or creating some fake results. So, in order to be clear on this, first of all, if you watch very careful, you see that majority of times I was making a day by day video. So um, taking the previous results, the results of the previous day, and making some extra trades in the next day, continuing uh, the previous balance. And of course, you have to try to imagine that if you want to fake something, it's just very simple. You trade, you open two accounts, and in one you sell something, and the other side you buy the same asset. So one of them, it's of course successful. But when you have to do it in more days or weeks, that could be more hard to realize, because for every day you have to create since the beginning of the starting day that you want to make this last long, as many trading accounts as possible, in order to make all the combination of buy and sell, because the second day, if you do the same thing anyway, you need to have 4 accounts, because you have to apply other 2 possibilities. So what I thought was about, I don't know if you're following this, but if you make the math, it's very simple. It's a very simple concept. It's an exponential um, progression. So what I thought was about also to give an answer on how the mathematical approach can perform through a significant amount of time. And as I am testing a new broker, and of course for educational purposes only, I always use a demo account where I replicate my trades and my analysis. I would like to show you the results of an entire month of trading. So today is the 5th of November, just to center the period we are living in, and I'm not talking about pandemics or things like that, but we are still in the phase where we have to see if Donald Trump or Biden will be the next president of the United States. And so we are in a very delicate situation for as regard the US dollar, and of course related to dollar, all the other currencies. And of course we are also in a moment where we have saw the performances of oil and some commodities and the market up and downs because of all this. Okay, so what I am about to show you is something that has been realized during these times. At the moment, I have my platform running. Actually, is the end of the London session, and so we are during the American session, and I am not trading. As I told you, I am since some months focusing only on the European session, and because of this, what will you see is something that I have realized based only on the British pound. Okay, so let's go for it, and here is the thing. So I started this account the 4th of October 2020. Okay, and this is the very last statement that I have created, the 3rd of November, the 3rd of November, so exactly 1 month. Then, of course, because of this broker, the demo platform, the demo account works for a month. It has expired, and then I created a new account on which I traded yesterday and today to give a kind of prosecution. Okay, but let's focus on the results of this London session trading that I made from the 4th of October till the 3rd of November. Okay, so if you see all the trading activity, that then you can of course check, pause the video, verify yourself, it's up to you, I don't care. I made different trades, of course, and this covers an entire month. Okay, so I'm scrolling down a little bit. I hope it's enough, just for you to pause the video and have a check. And as you may notice, all the trades are using the asset an asset related to GBP. Okay. Of course, the trading account, let me just see if it's possible to see, was provided with 50,000 units of currency. So the lot sizing was proportional accordingly to some money management rules. If this would have been less, I would have used a different lot size. Okay, so this just to be clear. Okay. So, by trading the GBP, which is the most volatile currency in the London session, especially, I was granting myself some pips every day, despite the fact that not all the days I was realizing like 100% of being right, because this is a kind of hedging by putting together more currencies related to just one currency. I call it 7-to-1. So basically the Aussie, the NZD, the Japanese yen, the Swiss franc, euro, dollar, and Canadian against the pound. But the overall result of combining together would have gave me the trading of the GBP itself. Okay, so even if I had some negative results, this has to be summed together in order to have a compensation which can result positive or negative in the overall total. Okay, so let's scroll so you can see all the trades that I made. 27 of October, 28 of October, 29 of October, 13 of October, and then 2nd of November and 3rd of November. Okay, so we're arriving at the end, and as you may notice, we arrived at the 3rd of November 2020. So exactly 1 month. Applying the mathematical concepts and strategies and charting that I have exhaustively explained in all my previous videos that I invite you to watch in order to make yourself an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, this video will be pretty brief, but just to give you an overall performance in a month. Okay, so by starting with the initial balance of 50,000, the result was to gain about 33,000 more, which in terms of percentage is roughly the 66% plus, respecting some money management rules, and this is the equity curve that I got. So this cannot be faked, okay, because this is something that, of course, you see I had some negative trades that impacted for a while my performance, but majority of time by trading this way, when something goes wrong, doesn't go wrong that much. Majority of time goes flat. Okay, when instead you are in the right direction, in the right day, the profit, it's much more than the loss, and this is why we have this straight line up. Of course, this is something that ended 2 days ago, so just to show you also the prosecution, I created another account with other conditions. So this one is without commissions, when the next one has commissions. So just to test both of them, because I'm pretty intrigued by this broker, so I wanted to give it a chance. And so, for example, you see the trades of yesterday, which was the 4th of November, and the trades that I made today. So even in this case, we have pretty nice performance, which could be ideally the prosecution, so to add another 6%, 7%, to the previous balance. For those who are asking me if there are, because basically what I'm using is something that I have created, and of course I still invite you to watch my previous videos to have an idea. What I created is something that can be referred as a strength and weakness analyzer of the 8 currencies. And one of the questions that I got is that there are many strength analyzers on the web, like expert advisors or things like that. So I was asked if they could have been used in the same way I'm using this. And my answer is yes, but with one little specification. I don't know how they calculate the strength and the weakness, but I know how do I do that. So that's why, first of all, I rely on my formulas and my calculations rather than using the common strength and weakness indicators that can be found in the web, in the trading view or whatever, or as expert advisors or else. This is the first thing. So I'm using some kind of analysis of strength and weakness, and not only because in this case I made something focus on the specific behavior of the GBP, but I also know in detail how this strength and weakness are generated. So this is for me, at least for me, an advantage, because at least I know how those formulas are calculated. First thing. Second thing is that by using a strength and weakness indicator that you have as an expert advisor or in the web, you cannot do extra formulas. And so you have to accept what you see, and that's it. At least you can only, do something like this. So select a specific asset to compare, so filter a bit, but that's the only thing you can do. What I can do instead, and this is another reason why I'm using my own proprietary strength and weakness indicator, is that I can make calculations. So for example, let me just write this in the best way. Okay, so for example, this chart is the same as this chart, but based on the GBP. And for doing this, starting from the values of strength and weakness that are displayed on these cells, the simple thing that I did was to create a formula that probably you don't see here in the panel. Let me see if it's possible to show you. Yeah, okay, now you see that, which is this formula, where basically I say keep on this cell the difference between every column of currency displayed and a fixed column, which is the GBP. Okay, so you can see the formula here, and then replicate this for all the cells and below for the previous period of time. So by having this, I can observe this chart. Just get out of this. I can observe, you can see we have the B2 minus F2, so we have the euro minus the GBP, and in this case we have the dollar minus the GBP, and in this case we have the Canadian minus the GBP. Of course, in the GBP we have 0 because we have the GBP minus the GBP. So in this case we consider GBP as a referral line, horizontal zero line, and then we see all the currencies that are going up above or below, which is basically a different representation where this line of GBP is rectified and put as a zero line. But by doing this, I can observe some behaviors that I could not notice very well on this chart. Okay, and for example, in the day of today, starting at the point 69, which is here, okay, after our rising up of all the other currencies against the GBP, which means GBP weak, because you have to imagine this line is going down and all the other currencies are going up, so strong all the other currencies against the GBP. There was a stationary movement with major downs of, in this case we have Canadian and Australian dollar, and not breaking some levels like a kind of resistance. Okay, so not going up anymore. And by analyzing this chart together with this chart specifically related to the GBP, I was capable, for example, today to get at the beginning of the European London session the spike up of the GBP, because of course when all the currencies are falling against the zero line, this zero line is strong and all the other currencies are getting weak. Okay, so I could have took the major movement, which is represented in these very trades of the fifth, which are the GBP CAD, GBP USD, CHF, Aussie, JPY and New Zealand in long direction, and of course Euro GBP in a short direction, so determining a GBP strong. And that was this result here, these trades. Okay, yesterday was a different scenario. GBP was weak, and GBP has been traded weak with two sizes of 0.5, so one lot per asset. And as you may notice, I got, for example, the GBP USD, where I took half of the trades at a certain point of the day, and I let the market go for some hours more, but then closing because I was ending my day and my time. And so, for example, we have here GBP USD that ended retracing, but which is this retracement back. Okay, but the overall performance was in positive because I was right determining GBP weak. So this is the reason why I also like to trade with my own proprietary currency strength meter, because this way I can do all the formulas that I like. And I did many formulas, and of course the ones who have it can also do the same, can also do the same approach and create all the formulas they like, and develop their own creativity, because maybe they have some intuitions. I can create oscillators, I can create averages, everything related to the currency. And in this case, for trading a specific currencies, which is the most important in the London session, um, I, I, I opted for creating some kind of graphical representation that could have gave me any kind of idea of what would have been going on with the GBP for the day. Okay. So for those who were asking the results of what can be trading by using math for the market analysis, an average result of 60, 65, 70% in a month can be pretty achievable. I'm saying a month, I'm not meaning 30 days, I'm meaning just 5 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week. Okay, but you can scroll back the video and check the time. I traded almost every day. Okay, so taking the risk every day. As I said in one of my previous videos, my trading is based on math for about 75-80%. I'm not explaining all here because it's something that is related to the mentoring, so something private that in case I give to those who are interested. But what I can say is that the other 20-25% is related to some fundamental analysis, which is basically reading some news, possible news for the day, so having an economic calendar and trying to match what the math is saying and what are the possible events that can drive the markets and the traders for the day. This way, my trading also has some meaning by referring basically always to math, but also considering that the markets are moved because of some fundamental news that can occur through the day. And that's it. There is some also technical analysis in the charts to waiting for, you know, a good point of entering the trades, but majority of time I wait, you know, for something that it's related to a news that can suggest me when to trigger then the trades. And also for those who are willing maybe to trade different sessions, it's important to notice that every session has its own currencies that are driving the most. So the Asian, which involves basically OZ, NZD, and JPY, the European and London session, which are driven by GBP, Euro, and Swiss franc, always against the dollar, both. And also the American session, where we have basically Canadian dollar and the US dollar. Of course, we have overlapping, so at the beginning of the London session, European London session, we have also the overlapping with the ending of the Asian. And there is also an overlapping between the American session and the European London session. So currencies can be moved as well, even if they are out of their session. But when we approach the trading, we should also focus on this. Am I in a London session? I trade one of the currencies against the dollar, probably, where I have more probability that there is some movement because the markets are open. Okay, and I could do the same, just to give you an idea. If I want, for example, to analyze the currencies against the US dollar, just to show you in real time what can be the meaning of doing math with a currency strength meter. In this case, it's just simply that instead of selecting the GBP, I select the USD as a referral point. Okay, and then I expand the formula. So now we are having the information related to the dollar, and in fact, as you can see here, the dollar is getting weak, and even here all the currencies are getting strong against the dollar, which is now the new zero line. Okay, so these things you cannot do them with normal expert advisors or with the strength meters that you find in the web. So I hope that this brief video is capable, to explain some reasons why I have developed this system this way, and why I'm using it and how I'm using it. And of course, for some other examples, rather than making the video long and long and long, there are many information planted in my previous videos. So I kindly invite you to watch them in order to get your extra answers prior to contact me, because I have very few amount of time in these months. And so for answering some questions in this sense, and also I hope to have given some information and explanations and answered questions for as regard the performance that can be achievable while using this kind of approach, this kind of mathematical approach, rather than using indicators or social trading or things like that, and also automations, because this is all manual trading. So every day analysis of the market. Let's see if we can do an update in real time just to close this video and conclude this session. Let's wait a moment that I am updating this. Yeah. So now I am basically updating the data from MetaTrader. Okay. Let's see if I did it right. And now we should see, some change in the movement of the currencies. Here and here. Okay, this is all for now, and I hope to make some videos soon. And thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, because you're still subscribing and still watching my videos, and for keeping in contact with me. And I do apologize for all the mails that I'm not answering, but I am doing some kind of filtering. So the very strict mails where they say nothing and they ask everything, that won't be the case. But I really do take in considerations those of you which are also presenting yourself and giving me a good reason to give an answer, maybe for something that I'm not covering with my videos, or things like that. Okay, so if you want to make a contact with me, consider that I have very limited amount of time, so I will be filtering the nonsense emails from the ones that are having some meaning and that are bringing something. Okay, so my contacts, of course, are on my channel for as regard the email or Skype for those who are willing to have a chat. Of course, accordingly, always with my scheduling. And with this, I say thanks again for watching even this video after such a long time. And as usual, because this is always something that I wish to every one of you, have a good space and have a good time. Bye.